What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You know what time it is. Of course, welcome to another episode of the Victorious Ones podcast. Victorious Ones podcast, the place where gaming meets comics, meets sports, meets movies, as well as inspiration. Of course, I'm your host, King Von Jr. You can follow me on social media on Twitter at 301 King Von Jr. Verified, by the way. Of course, you can follow the show's Twitter page /X at Victory Pod 1. I'm also on Instagram at Mr. King Von Jr. You can follow the show's Instagram page at Victorious Ones Podcast. Of course, I'm the social media producer for the Unpopular Reviews. Of course, Perfect Plex Talk Radio, which comes on Mondays at 6 on YouTube. And so, of course, like I said, this podcast covers so much. And of course, if you're on YouTube, by the way, go to youtube.com/@VonRestVirginia. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more good content. And of course, before I get all that stuff out there, I'm doing a whole bunch of cheap plugs right now. Of course, you go to victoriousone.bigcartel.com. Of course, I just revealed the DX Run DMC shirt that's lined up. HBK and Triple H as DX runs WWE. Please, like I said, please make sure to support that merch. And I have another Roman Reigns t-shirt coming up as well. And so I'm just celebrating, honoring, acknowledging the tribal chief. Roman is the real tribal chief. Anybody else who says otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about. Like I said, of course, like there's so much to talk about when it comes to the week of wrestling, from SmackDown, Raw, as well as NXT, as we get ready. The roads that we're on lead to the Bash in Berlin, and like I say, some of the highlights. Like I say, when it comes to the Bloodline, when it comes to Nia Jax Coronation, just so much lined up and more, as well as other news outside of wrestling, such as the DNC that's going on this week, right now, literally as we speak, as well as I saw a special screening of Transformers 1, and without giving any spoilers, I'm going to give a review of it. And as far as that, pretty much those are some of the main talking point, some of the main talking points that I have right now. And so of course, matter of fact, for those that are watching, our way of X/Twitter/X, really appreciate that. Please make sure to share this. Share this link, whatever it is that you're doing. On each of my platforms, from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Please make sure to share. I really appreciate that. And so, of course, as far as what's kicking things off, with the SmackDown results, and of course, some of the main things that pretty much with the Bash of Berlin, a little over 2 weeks, at least roughly about 2 weeks away. About 2 weeks or so away. Pretty much, or now at this point, about 10 days away. We can expect there's going to be a lot of hype surrounding Bash in Berlin. It's going to be WWE's first German PLE, still probably review. But of course, the main highlights for this past Friday's SmackDown, Roman's return. I'm going to talk about that later on. Of course, Nia Jax having a coronation ever celebration thrown by Tiffany Stratton. Of course, we have the match with DIY versus Street Profits, Naomi versus Blair Davenport, and Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller. And so, so those are some of the highlights. And of course, SmackDown kicked off in great fashion. Kicked off on a high note with a video, like I said, not only recapping Roman's return to SmackDown, but of course, as they went live, we saw Tiffany Stratton, Tippy Time was already in the ring with Pretty Deadly to welcome Nia Jax for her championship celebration. And, of course, the new women's champion and queen of the ring, Nia herself, was brought out on a giant throne with a big crown on her head, pretty much very reminiscent of Macho King Randy Savage. And so, I think there was somebody on Twitter who who used the I think it's, somebody on social media, I used the I want to say, yeah, it was Twitter. Apparently, like what they used the coming to America song, where the guy says she's your queen to be. And so, so of course, Nia quoted that and said that she wishes that was a song that was a song to play when she came out. So I mean, if anything, that was only fitting, for for someone as deserving as Nia Jax to to come out with that to come out with that entrance song, and so of course, as a matter of fact, Nia looked absolutely amazing, straight up gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like just nothing but beauty and royalty. Of course, she came out in all white, a great crown. You know what I mean? Like I say, hair looked amazing as always. And so, so of course, as Nia gets to the ring, she immediately expressed her displeasure for how much pink was in that ring. And so, right after that, Jackson ended up saying that all the women in WWE need to bow to her, including Tiffany. And of course, Nia's words, including she was like, including you, Tiffany. And so, so of course, Tiffany deflected and had Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince, and Kit Walker sing a song for her. And so, so of course, unfortunately, the celebration was short lived as Mia Yim broke up the festivities, and of course, took everybody out, including Nia with the kendo stick. So she ran on Nia's parade by attacking her with a kendo stick, and so so of course I was, like I said, I would say that I was definitely very impressed by this opening segment, and and the funny thing is, Nia's crown. The funny thing about it is that Nia's crown at SummerSlam looked like something from the Chronicles of Narnia. Might as well say Chronicles of Nia. But the one that she had on Friday, looked like something that Sauron, probably would have made for her. But yeah, and of course, Mia was definitely swinging that kendo stick like she was going for a home run. So as far as that, and then of course we have Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes, and I say that they had tremendous chemistry together in the ring. I mean, it is not an exaggeration. It is no lie at all whatsoever. And the thing is, Carmelo, usually had great chemistry. I mean, consistently has great chemistry. Whenever he's in the ring, whether it was against Braun Breaker or Ilya Dragunov, or even Trick Williams himself. And so that pattern continues to follow him as he's gone to the main roster on SmackDown. And his ideal dance partner these days is Andrade. You know what I mean? And like I say, just how they're lockstep with each other in the ring is definitely something that is definitely something that needs to be admired. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was absolutely amazing. And so, so of course, like I said, as a matter of fact, we could make an argument that say this is the best encounter that they had in the ring. And the thing about it is that and the reason why they're pairing their dynamic so brilliant is because of Andrade's experience. He's a veteran with great technical skills, and he's up there with some of the best of the best. And Carmelo, is just one of the brightest shooting stars in WWE. Like I said, and one of the things I always like to say is if you're looking for the definitive Black Shawn Michaels archetype, it would have to be Carmelo Hayes. As far as that's concerned. And so, like I said, of course, just like time after time, it's no different. And as a matter of fact, I would even say that when it came to men's Money in the Bank match, they were the ones who really stole the show. And so, because of that, the crowd during this match chanted, "This is awesome!" And right before he was trying to pin Idolo or Andrade with the counter, and course, so actually, the winner of this match was Carmelo Hayes, and so as far as that, like I say, Andrade's moonsault was absolutely amazing, and also just with Carmelo's springboard offense and things like that. So of course, finally, Carmelo Hayes picks up the win over Andrade. Next up, we have Naomi versus Blair Davenport. Of course, their respective, third option, if you will, their respective trios. No disrespect to Naomi, but we already know, who the top two priorities are in that big three, Team Renaissance, if you will. We all know it's Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Of course, Naomi is no slouch whatsoever herself. Of course, like I say, Naomi versus Blair Davenport only makes sense because of the fact that Blair Davenport was the one that that cost Jade and Bianca a chance to reclaim the women's tag titles, and so of course Naomi came back and got a revenge. And so however this time, so however this time Blair Davenport gets the win over Naomi, and so of course not only that, we also saw, of course, as far as other things that we saw tonight, we saw Solo Sikoa telling Tommy Tonga that Roman Reigns takes back the following the necklace, that he was going to be the tribal chief again. And so of course we also saw Roxanne Perez in the crowd, and later on we also saw Roxanne Perez backstage. It's Nia Jax, it's Nia Jax walking down the hallway, and just the way that they just acknowledge, just kind of like just greet each other with their head nod, like it's like something backstage on SmackDown vs. Raw type game, something like that, and just for Nia to keep it moving, and so as far as, and then we also have Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller, of course the winner of that match, Kevin Owens. Then we have Street Profits, Street Profits versus DIY, winning that match, Street Profits, and so of course again, so of course we saw Solo Sikoa and Tommy Tonga make their way to the ring for the last segment of the night, and so the self-appointed head of the table, of course, called out Roman to try to come and take the Hula file away from him, which is a very sacred sacred Samoan necklace. It represents their heritage, represents their legacy, and just like I see, it's just like an heirloom or something. It's very, very sacred. And so of course, the former Universal Champion, Mr. 1,316 days Universal Champion, the real Tribal Chief, arrived, and of course in battle solo and Tama by himself. Of course, Reigns reclaimed the following. So like we put it on, it's like this thing transformed. Like like when Roman put it on, there's even a meme going around on Twitter where they have it side by side of him putting on the necklace along with Thanos getting the along with Thanos getting the time stone to complete the Infinity Gauntlet, and how as soon as Thanos put the time stone on the thumb, which just like you got just got superpower, just got energized, and and that's the feeling that Roman had when he put the necklace back on. And that was the equivalent of Thanos got the time stone to complete the collection for the Infinity Gauntlet. And so as soon as Thanos just dropped that last stone, like, and that's that's how Roman was, when he put when he put on that necklace, and much like how Infinity War, Thanos is sort of euphoria, if you will, was kind of short lived because Thor attacked him, but things much like that, Roman's jubilation and celebration was short lived, as as he was attacked by Jacob Fatu, who super kicked him with a boot on. A boot. you know, and even though Solo is the quote head of the table, if you will, just on paper, but really the main threat is Jacob Fatu. That's the one that you would, that everybody's has to look out for the most. Even though this bloodline is very mid, like what you call the midline, the team line, or whatever, whatever you want to call it. But out of everybody, Jacob Fatu is the one that really carries this iteration of the bloodline. I mean, anytime you give somebody a super kick with a boot, that's violence. I've never seen Shawn Michaels do that. So for Jacob Fatu to do something like that, I mean, he is, it's just like he's just otherworld. He's a whole level of bloodthirsty, insane. Like Sabretooth levels of bloodthirsty. You know what I mean? And also I want to say rest in peace to Off of the Wild Simones. It is tragic. 2 months after Sika had tragically passed away. So both of the Wild Simones are gone. Rest in peace to both of them. And within the same year, it's hard to imagine. And they definitely, the Honor is definitely going through it right now. And I just gotta say, just my thoughts and prayers with them right now. And the thing about it is that when you look at, matter of fact, I want to say that Black Wrestling suits, especially me for creating this conversation about Roman. And when it comes to that Samoan heritage, I can tell she definitely does her homework when it comes to that. And when you look at this term of, terms of high chief or tribal chief at the table and things like that, really, it's just like, since those elders are gone, really the main ones who are truly carrying that lineage, that name, who are at the forefront, I would say The Rock and then Roman. And it's just like everything else falls underneath them. I say Rock 1, Roman 2, I'd say not that far behind, not too far behind. But they're the ones who carry the biggest weight, of the Anawani family, of this dynasty, and so, it's automatically, it's being, this mantle has been truly being passed down to them. Really, they have, they grab this mantle and grab it by the horns, and they've been running with him, and will never look back. They're the ones who are spearheading this dynasty known as the Anawani family. Even though Cody's song says that wrestling has more than one world family, I'm gonna say it like this: next to the McMahons, the Anawanis are the true royal family when it comes to wrestling. The McMahons just because they're the ones who launch the business, run from a corporate standpoint, right? From an executive standpoint. But when it comes to in ring, it's the Anawanis and nobody else comes close. Like just that consistent string of talent from A to Z. All the way from High Chief Peter Maivia, to the Wild Samoans, to of course, you have like Kishi, Yokozuna, pretty much in between that as well. Things really pick up once The Rock steps in. As a matter of fact, The Rock's that family's greatest star. Like I said, let's just call it what it is. The Rock is the one really spearheaded, he's the biggest crossover star when it comes to that family. Let's call it what it is. Like I said, he's that family's biggest crossover star. The Rock is to Samoans what Thor is to Asgardians, right? You know, Thor is, like I said, Thor is Asgard's greatest hero, greatest warrior, biggest star. Rock sing. You know what I mean? Um, of course you have Rock. You also of course, Rock and Kishi. Later on down the line, you have like Roman Reigns, the Usos, Nia Jax, right? And you see how decorated they are when it comes to greatness, when it comes to their lineage, when it comes to their family line. Nobody else comes close. And I would say like people like Tamatanga and all them, Haku and whatever, they are, just mainly associated by affiliation. You know what I mean? And like that, because they're like distant cousins, whatever the case is, something like that. They're more so bloodline by affiliation. But it's really, like I said, the Anawani family. Nobody else comes close. When you look at, with all due respect to even like the Hart family, it's predominantly Bret Hart. Um, who's the main one that was the world champion. Yeah, he's the only one that was the world champion. Behind him, you have Owen, and that's about it. Well, take that back, unless you include in-laws like Davey Boy, Annabelle Dynamite. As far as that's concerned, Natty much later, much on. But I'll say, if anything, if there's anybody else that was closest to the Anawani's, I'd say the Hearts. They start going to like Von Erichs, Guerreros, whatever. Fox, if you want to throw that in there. But like I say, it's just the Anawani family is just in rarefied air, and the fact that this storyline about this necklace, this sacred, Samoan traditional necklace, overshadows the company's main title, the WWE title. The fact that this overshadows anything that Cody's doing as WWE champion speaks volumes. I've titled so many different segments about Roman, the Roman effect, but that's really what it is. Roman's shadow is so enormous that that even when he's in the storyline without a championship, that even carries more weight than than the guy who beat him. Like I said, if anything, that carries more weight, than than the guy who beat him at WrestleMania to finish the story, right? Like I say, of course, no shade, no shade, no tea, no disrespect to Cody at all whatsoever. But like I said, I guess I'm just kind of rambling about this thing. But it's just like when you see the imprint of the bloodline, of just the Anawani family. So we look at Roman and the battles that he's doing with the bloodline right now. You see Nia as the Queen of the Ring and the Women's Champion. It's just like pretty much, if anything, pretty much monopolizing, to like the WWE picture. So it's funny how SmackDown it's like this booking. Friday's episode started off with Nia, and then it ended with Roman, and the bloodline, right? So the fact that you have this family starting off the show and ending the show speaks volumes, and is a testament to the power that they carry within wrestling and itself. You know what I mean? So and plus I think it's only fitting that happens, especially especially in tribute to the passing of Arthur from the Wild Samoans. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Another thing I gotta bring up. If you're talking about the greatest tag teams, and the Wild Samoans are not in your top 15, then in my estimation, I think you're doing tag team wrestling wrong. I think you're doing a disservice, because the Wild Samoans, trailblazers, like this, like they were world leaders. And it's crazy. As a matter of fact, shout out to Dr. D, bring this up. It's insane that the Wild Samoans and the Legion of Doom, World Wars, never crossed paths. Can you imagine a dream match with them? Man, that thing would move planets. So yeah, So, so as far as that, I thoroughly enjoyed, like seeing this Friday's, as far as stuff like that. Of course, I guess just got finished talking about Roman. Got to put the caption up, but yeah, like I said, as far as that, it's just like I said, as far as that, I thoroughly enjoyed this past Friday's episode. You know what I mean? And it's like I said, it's just the dynasty speaks for itself. And another thing that I wanted to bring up as well, before I see another thing I wanted to bring up as well, before I move on to the rest of the show. And matter of fact, much of my content lately in this podcast has been filled with a lot of Roman content. So if anything, Roman is a testament to his drawing power. But yeah, speaking of Roman, once again, when I was on Mondays, like seeing on the show that I produce on Monday, my matter of fact, the guy that that hosts the show, shot the mic. His last, as a matter of fact, his last segment was talking about Roman Reigns, the case for and against him being the greatest of all time. And the case that he made was very, very strong, right? And of course, you see the reasons why this case against him and things like that. But when I was listening to it, it really made me evaluate closer, more than ever before, how I examine Roman's career, like where he ranks all time. Some of these lists, are subjective, but at the same time, to a certain point, there has to be a level of objectivity as well. Objectiveness, whatever. So, with that being said, full disclosure, for those that probably haven't seen, I'm pretty sure most of you have seen, I had Roman, like I said, originally, when I came up with this modern iteration list, I put Roman at number 20. I thought that was fair, very fair and balanced. Like I said, not too high, not too low, somewhere right in the middle. Kind of like a Goldilocks, just right. You know what I mean? But like I said, for those 20, like I said, it wasn't hateful, it wasn't shabby or anything like that. But then, as I'm starting to really examine his career, and of course, this list was originally made before he reached that, before he even reached 1,000 days. Right? Since then, he had a historic monumental run of 1,316 days. One of the top 5 longest. One of the top 5, single longest, longest single title reign. One of the top 5 longest single title reigns in WWE history. One of the top 5, top 5 single, longest reigning WWE championship run. Whatever. But yeah, like as far as that, and for him to I'd say to carry the company on his shoulders the way that he did, like I said, when you look at numbers, like I said, as far as when it comes to title reigns, we look at the quality of his title reign, we look at numbers such as merchandise numbers, and matter of fact, Monday, Mike had played a clip from somebody who's an AEW fan talking about Roman's not it's not like the top merch selling WWE, maybe AEW. Talking about Chris Jericho, he sold more merch than Roman, all that type of stuff. I'm like, do we really need to go there? Like, how many Chris Jericho shirts that have sold out and moved numbers the way that Roman's shirts have sold out? How many WrestleMania main events has Chris Jericho been compared to Roman Reigns? In the main event that Jericho was in, didn't even feel like a main event because it was overshadowed by Rock versus Hollywood HH, that guy. And Jericho himself even said that he wasn't at that time. He wasn't really ready to be world champion, carrying the company like that on that level. With the way that Roman was able to, we talk about Jericho make a transformation. We talk about Roman's transformation to become who he has become from 2020 on down, which feels like a completely different timeline at this point now. I've seen for Roman to make metamorphosis, maybe like him. Like I said, with Roman, the way that he made this metamorphosis into who he is, right? Like I say, what you call Thanos, Injustice, Superman, Doctor Doom, Darkseid, all rolled up in one at this point when it comes to Roman. Like I said, he's become this end-all, be-all type of guy, and like I say, when it comes to metrics, when it comes to when it comes to PLE viewership, buy rates, ticket sales, merchandise sales, just regular viewership, and how many eyes he brings to the screen. Part of the name of the game when it comes to wrestling is not only what you do in the ring, as far as the story that you tell in the ring, but also, much of what wrestling is about is about putting butts in seats. It's about putting bodies in seats. And right now, in this modern era, this current era, Roman Reigns does that better than everybody. Even with a reduced schedule. You're talking about somebody who knows how to put people in seats, bring people to the building. The moment that you put Roman's face on anything, that's going to turn heads. He's like Roman is like an eye magnet for people. You want to talk about someone who knows how to pass an airport test when it comes to recognition? Roman's in that conversation. And when you look at Roman's dance partners in his era, I mean, like I say, just the quality of dance partners that he's faced. I mean, of course, when there's Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Edge, John Cena, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? His own cousin Jey Uso, right? Cody, of course. You name it, Roman has faced them and beat. Smash, stack, and pin. And it really makes you examine. I know it makes me examine more and more. Where Roman really fits all time. Because I know I had him number 20 on my all-time greatest list. He's certainly moving up in my all-time favorite list. He's cracking the top 10, if not there now already. Right? I know he hasn't always won a popularity contest, but with the way that he's changed the trajectory of his career, looks like he's turned the corner on that now too, right? And like I said, said, especially with Monday's episode, maybe examine like where I have Roman now. Could have like, I think enough time has passed. I'm like, you know what? Might as well, it's time. I can see it might as well be time for me to bump him up even further on my list. Where he goes, time will tell. The latest installation of this, I would say, maybe ready sometime after Vegas WrestleMania, right? Roman's looking at top 15 territory right now at this point, if not borderline top 10, right? Let's just call it what it is, right? At this point, you can make a case for him moving past someone like Brock Lesnar. And as much people, may not be popular, you can make a case for him moving past us. I certainly already put him past Edge a long time ago. Well, shot well past CM Punk. You can make a case for him moving past Orton right now at this point. And just for that other comment, I could very well shoot past Jericho. Like I say, all those guys are Hall of Famers, all Hall of Fame careers and whatever. But so is Roman Reigns. He's been with WWE for 12, 13 years. He's 12 years on the main roster now. I think he's putting enough time in. He's definitely putting enough work in to be classified as a legend. And he's had one of Andy's best legend episodes ever anyway. Like I said, of course, I firmly acknowledge Tribal Chief. And speaking of that, speaking of SmackDown, yours truly, I'm going to be there on Friday night. That's when it comes here in DC, so I'm very excited for that. So of course, that is enough of my Tribal Chief soapbox, if you will. So of course, I'm part of the Roman Empire, the Roman Army. Shout out to other Roman fans, like Nini from Black Wrestling, among many others. But yeah, like I said, just waxing poetic about Roman's greatness once again. But now it's time to move on to Monday Night Raw. I think I've spent enough time about the Bloodline, so now it is time to move on to Monday Night Raw as the Judgment Day turns, as the Dominic turns. As you all know, originally Dominic Mysterio. Sorry about that. Originally, Dominic Mysterio had been turned out by Rhea Ripley. That's how he joined the Judgment Day, because Rhea was the original home record. Because of the fact that she broke Dominic up, from his dad, Rey Mysterio. So of course she was the first one to turn him out, and Liv Morgan apparently has turned him out even more. Anytime you feed this dude chicken nuggets and getting him PS5s, getting him gifts that Rhea never did, and he gave her a lip lock at SummerSlam. Preview mustache and all. You know what I mean? Like, Dominic has been turned out twice, or as the whispers would say, Dominic has been lost and turned out. Just call it what it is. Rhea was the original wolf in black clothing that came and blew his mind and changed his ways. Now Liv is the new wolf in black clothing that is turning him out again and changing his ways even more. What is the world coming to? But yeah, anyway, accepting that song instead of buying new Seville, Liv is out here buying Dom PS5, among other things. So yeah, like I said, just like the song says, the paraphrase, Dom has gotten lost and he's turned out right now, thanks to good old Liv Morgan. but yeah, that's how it is as the Judgment Day turns. And so, of course, this storyline, is continuing to snowball. As far as until Monday night, and so of course, earlier it showed, of course, Rhea and Damian Priest, aka Zesty Undertaker, Freaky Taker, whatever, making their way to the arena, as they call themselves, with the Terror Twins. Sounds like a 1985 LOD adjacent nickname type of thing. Anyway, sorry about that in the background. DNC going on. Man, Stevie's on the screen right now. But yeah. Oh, yeah. So anyway, sorry about that. Again, like I said, I'm multitasking right now, and I definitely don't want to hold anybody else's time. But yeah, like I said, it's just like I said, the central theme right now is this Judgment Day love triangle weird thing, whatever this entanglement is right now. As far as that, of course, some of the highlights, so Randy Orton's promo, Gunther. Of course, you have Sheamus versus Pete Dunne, grudge match. You have a New Day and Odyssey Jones versus the Final Testament. We have the women's tag match, Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective, as it called, as it called, the Stud Patrol. Damage Control versus the Stud Patrol versus Aladon Outfire. Then, of course, CM Punk cutting a promo about Drew McIntyre and versus Maxine Dupree versus Ivan Niles. So, of course, the show kicks off with Randy Keith Orton, the juiced up Viper, if anything, the Super Viper, if you will. So, of course, Roy Heavyweight Champion Gunther, along with his right hand man Kaiser, send messages loudly and clear to Randy Orton. And open the segment. Randy Orton was agreed with a huge reaction. This is as popular as Orton's fight has ever been in his whole career now. Just because now everybody's appreciating him more than ever. But of course, the ring general Gunther quickly interrupted, as he took great offense and exception to the RKO that the Viper gave him out of nowhere last week. And so of course, like I said, trash talking continued, and as Orton vowed to put his size 15 double extra wide boot, right up where the sun doesn't shine. Gunther right before Gunther's hype man Luke Kaiser attacked, and so as far as that, and of course, as we all know, later that night we have Randy Orton versus Luke Kaiser. So as far as that, pretty much, sorry about that, as far as that's concerned. And then of course moving on with that, we have Sheamus versus Pete Dunne. Of course, like I said, another grudge match, and the winner of that match is Sheamus. Of course, has been watching Stevie is about to perform Higher Ground, one of the favorite Stevie songs, by the way. And I'm talking about last night's DNC. Later on, after I finished talking about Raw, then of course we have Maxine Dupree versus Ivy Nile. The match ends in no contest, and then of course then we have a CM Punk promo. As well as far as that, and of course CM Punk showed up with the leather strap, and of course we revealed that he faced Drew McIntyre leather strap match at Bash in Berlin. And of course, this when groundskeeper Drew the Scottish Warrior interrupted, scoffed at the idea of the contest, and vowed to destroy Punk at Bash in Berlin. And so of course, of course, McIntyre said that Punk told Punk that AJ and the dog are happier at home with him than his rival. And of course, the main talking points, of course, CM Punk main thing says that he's the Taylor Swift for men. And of course, it was something nobody expected here on Raw, but then again, it is what it is. And so, so of course, Punk says, "I want the strap match so I can whip this, dot. As you said, set this stipulation." And so of course, and of course, Drew McIntyre was like, he's like, "I have a question, and I'm being 100% serious." And he asked Punk, "Have you started drinking?" And I was like, "Oh man, so much for Mr. Straight Edge." Right now, Steven. Yeah, but anyway, as far as that, of course, we have New Day and Icy Jones versus the Final Testament, a super mid team, and of course, we see tensions building, within the New Day as they continue to dress like Ninja Turtles, and it's just like each time. Yeah. Anyway, like I'm saying, it's just that that each time Odyssey Jones is around, Xavier's mood just instantly changes. You know what I mean? And you can tell that this dude is fed up. You know what I mean? Like it's just like come on now. And like I said, the writing is on the wall, unfortunately, for a team like the New Day. And like I said, if anything, the time is definitely taken more than ever before. And so and of course, before the match, Dominic Mysterio issued a challenge to Damian Priest for a match later on in the show. But of course, back to this as far as New Day and Odyssey Jones, they got they definitely got a victory with the Final Testament, a 6-man tag match, and of course, carrying his team isolated Kofi throughout the match, and then when Kofi created separation and got to his corner, he happened to tag Odyssey Jones instead of Xavier. And of course, Odyssey it's a hot tag, and of course, he definitely had a typical old school babyface comeback before picking up the win with the Boss Man Slam. And of course, after the match, even though they won, Woods, was less than thrilled with the victory. He's clearly disappointed, between the friendship between Kofi and Odyssey. And so they can make a revamp, especially the idea that they could have a revamped version of the New Day, without Big E. I mean, it's just like the seeds are being planted more and more, and it's pretty much time to call it a day when it comes to the New Day. Excuse the expression. Of course, by the way, you see Karen Thompson right now up there at the DNC as I'm watching right now. But yeah, but of course we have a no DQ match with The Miz versus Bronson Reed, and of course, in typical fashion, Bronson Reed destroys The Miz. Nothing else to see. Then we have Damian Priest versus Dominic Mysterio, and then so cover that. Of course, the match ended no contest, and of course before the match even started, the new revamped Judgment Day attack, and so on. So of course, even after eventually at the end of the day, the new Judgment, the remaining Judgment Day members, and of course the latest iteration, of course stood tall over the Terror Twins, of course as far as Finn, Carlito, JD, Bobblehead, they all they all overwhelmed King Priest, while Liv Morgan jumped through Ripley with a steel chair, and of course as we see the new Judgment Day taking out the old guard, if you will, the previous Judgment Day, the Terror Twins, if you will. And I was like, man, so much for that. But of course, Braun Breaker also said that there's going to be a tournament again next week for a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. And of course, we also have a triple threat tag match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. And of course, we see Damage Control, Stud Patrol, and the unholy union of Albert Fire Aladon. And of course, Albert Fire Aladon retained the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Then finally, the main event, we have Randy Orton versus Luke Kaiser. Of course, the winner of this match, in spite of some Gunther's shenanigans, is Randall Keith Orton, with his typical, RKO out of nowhere, and so of course that's how how Raw ends off. And then last but not least, I definitely want to talk about NXT. And if anything, that's my last piece of business. And of course, it was because of the fact that NXT is on the road to No Mercy. Of course, we see Joey Henry battle Wesley and Pete Dunne for opportunity to challenge All Ego Ethan Page for the NXT Championship. And then we have a gauntlet eliminator match with Sol Ruka, Jada Parker, Carmen Petrovic, Red Sinclair, Kendall Bray, and Adriana Rizzo. Of course, to crown the number one contender with Roxanne Perez's NXT Women's Championship. And of course, Lola Vice, Lola Vice faces tough challenge since Roxanne Perez in a battle with Wendy Chu. Of course, we got her eyes. Of course, Lola Vice has her eyes on Kalani Jordan's women's. They both have their eyes on Kalani Jordan's Women's North American Championship. And of course, Chase U also held a celebration as the new NXT Tag Team Champions. And it was definitely once again another night to further shape the future of this brand of NXT. And of course, Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Duplex and Robbie Osborne. And of course, the winners, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, will win by pinfall to earn an NXT Championship opportunity in No Mercy. So then the number one contenders for Chase U's NXT Tag Team Championships. Next up, we have Lola Vice versus Wendy Chu. The winner by pinfall is Wendy Chu. So she is now the number one contender for Kalani Jordan's NXT Women's North American Championship. Following that, we have the number one contender gauntlet eliminator match. And the winner of that match is, of course, Jada Parker. Now she is the number one contender for Roxanne Perez's NXT Women's Championship at No Mercy. Next up, we have Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. The winners by pinfall, Hank and Tank. And that rhymes by the way, right? And of course, Open Femi interrupts No Quarter Catch Crew. It's Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo gets the upper hand on NXT North American champion. So next up, we have Tony D'Angelo setting his sights on Open Femi's North American title. Open Femi has been putting on banger after banger, match after match. His dude has been fire. So of course, next up we have next up we have Ashanti Adonis versus Deion Lennox, and of course the winner by pinfall by way of sweet chin music, as he calls it, Long Kiss Goodnight, Ashanti Adonis. But but the thing about it is that with Ashanti, not the singer, by the way, it's just like he's never been able to put together, as a single star. Never been able to put it together on his own. But and obviously, clearly shows with what he's been doing since the group is broken up, since everybody's gone their separate ways. If there's anybody that I feel is drowning right now, it would have to be him, because Swerve is he's currently the AEW champion. Top dollar AJ Francis is definitely making his mark, really stand out on the indies. B-Fab, the Street Profits. So things they all at least have some type of identity, if you will, I guess whatever you want to call it. But with him, it's just like this dude is floundering. You know what I mean? And the fact that he interrupted Trick Williams. This segment with Trick Williams and Cedric Alexander. I'm like, yeah, this dude's way out of place. You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah. So it's just like he's continues to fall down the pecking order. But yeah, so as far as that, yeah, of course, we also saw, saw a segment where Lexis King interrupted Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson, but they clearly paid him no mind. And Lash Legend, her face card is always proved. But yeah, of course, last but not least, the number one contenders match, Pete Dunne versus Wesley versus Joe Hendry, and of course, the winner of this match and the number one contender for Ethan Page's NXT Championship and No Mercy is none other than Joe Hendry, as we all believe in Joe Hendry, as he defeated Pete Dunne and Wesley by pinfall. Outside one match that was pretty much a dud was the Ashanti match. NXT definitely brought in a strong show when it came to in-ring action. There was nothing rushed, and so the build-up for No Mercy has been absolutely on point. So of course, bravo to bravo to NXT, and they're definitely doing their thing over there. So now that I've gotten all the wrestling stuff out the way, I will say that I did. Shout out to Plus Ultra Entertainment on Instagram, because they hosted a free screening of Transformers 1. And I must say, without spoilers, I was amazed. I was absolutely amazed. And it's something a great throwback to the original, to the original source material. Let's just say that it brings the franchise now back to its essence, much like what Bumblebee did. So if anything, I know it doesn't come out until next month, but I highly recommend it. That's all I'm saying. Just to see the story play out the way it did, and just how certain seeds were planted and things like that, and just the way that it eventually materialized. I was like, say no more. Bravo. You know what I mean? And of course, that same night was night 2 of the Democrat National Convention. It was great. And just how the Obamas just ether and drop pipe bombs, nuke bombs on Orange Adolf, aka Trump, and the fact that especially with the way that Obama, just being super petty and of course clap back at Trump, like he does. Trump's weird obsession with crowd sizes going like this, and tell that Trump was definitely fighting for his life. Mar-a-Lago watching this, and it was amazing. Especially when it came to Michelle Obama, she said that when she said, I can't really do it justice, but how you're saying that the job that Donald Trump's applying for could be one of those black jobs he's talking about. That right there, you know what I mean? So, just the way, just the energy that this convention has had so far. I mean, it far outshines that. I would say like it far outshines that Clown Fest from last month. That was disgraceful last month. With this, it was definitely a shot in the arm, and I feel as though with this convention has truly washed the taste out of everybody's mouths in Chicago after what happened. That horrible, interview segment, or whatever it was, at that appearance at NABJ, and I'm proud to see, this convention this week, and this, like I said, they have not disappointed. They have yet to disappoint whatsoever. This is night 3 right now. Like I said, just anything, just a recap of night 2. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like I said, but yeah, like I said, as far as that, um, you know, like I said, like pretty much that was that was certainly, like I said, like just my recap of the wrestling as well as the DNC and you know what I mean, like in terms like some more like some of the bigger highlights, if you will. But yeah, you know, like pretty much overall, you know, that in a nutshell, you know, that's you know, that's, um, that's pretty much it for the night. And so, um, well, you know, of course, as I end the show, I definitely like to give birthday shout outs. So, really, really slow. But yeah, like I said, as far as that, um, once again, like as far as birthday shout outs, on August 20th, Isaac Hayes will turn 82. Um, and you know, like I say, you know, of course, Isaac Hayes will turn 82. And of course, I also want to send a happy belated birthday to Lily Garcia, who turned 58. So, of course, on August 20th, Gunther turned 37. On August 21st, which is today, Will Chamberlain would have turned 88. Usain Bolt turns, of course, like a legendary Olympic track runner. Usain Bolt turns 38. The Godfather of Go-Go, Chuck Brown, would have turned 88 on August 22nd. On that same day, on the same day, the Usos turned 39. Jimmy and Jay Uso turned 39. Paul Ellering turns 71 on August 22nd. Apollo Crews turns 37 on August 22nd. Of course, on August 23rd, the late great Kobe Bean Bryant will turn 46. And of course, on August 24th, Dave Chappelle turns 51, and Vince McMahon turns 79. So, you know, of course, that's it for for this week's birthdays, upcoming birthdays. And before I go, I would like to give a word of wisdom, and that is to, like the end, of course, to seek first God's kingdom and His righteousness, and everything else will be added to. When you make God the top priority, everything else will fall in line. That sounds cliche, but it means everything. You know, it's great when it comes to chasing the bag, but at the same time, make sure make sure you chase that word first and foremost, because success without God means nothing. Success without Jesus means nothing. So that is my word of wisdom. And of course, you are victorious because greater is He that is in you than He that's in the world. When you put God in first place, you don't have to worry about being in last place. Please make sure to watch this podcast on YouTube. Please make sure to listen on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that you download podcasts. Thank you very much for listening and watching. May this day be the very best day